You know that feeling, right? You get back from a trip and you just have to post about it. A killer photo on Instagram, maybe a super detailed review on a travel site. Sharing our adventures has become part of the adventure itself. But what's really going on in our brains when we get that urge? Well, today we're digging into the science that explains why we do it. And think about this for a second. Is the glowing 5-star review you leave for the whole world to see the same as the brutally honest advice you text your best friend? Do you change what you share and how you share it depending on who's listening? That question right there is the key to some really cool research on our travel habits. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll cover the basics of why we share online. Then we'll look at the big puzzle researchers were trying to solve. We'll check out the tools they used, reveal what they found out, and wrap up with why your feelings about a trip are, well, everything. Okay, let's dive into part one. Our online opinions have totally shaken up the travel world. I mean, what we say about hotels, restaurants, you name it, it really matters. And all this digital chatter, it actually has a scientific name. It's called electronic word of mouth, or EWOM for short. And here's the thing. It's not just about the good stuff. EWOM is any statement, positive, negative, or just kind of meh, that gets put out there on the internet. It's like telling your buddy about a new coffee shop, but instead of one person, you're telling millions. Right, so where does the research come in? Well, every great scientific study starts with a mystery, a gap in what we know. And when it came to travel and EWOM, there were some pretty big unanswered questions. For starters, most research focused on international travelers. But what about people exploring their own country? And the big one, does it matter if we're posting for our close friends versus total strangers on a review site? Researchers also wanted to know what specifically about a place makes us pull out our phones. Is it the views, the culture? And how does our overall vibe from the trip play into all of this? To crack this case, the researchers used a classic idea from psychology called the Stimulus-Organism-Response Model, SOR. It sounds complicated, but it's actually super simple. A stimulus, that's the destination, causes a change in the organism, that's you and your feelings. And that change leads to a response, yep, hitting that post button. So, you have the theory, but how do you actually test it? The how is a huge deal in research. So let's take a peek inside the toolkit the researchers used to find their answers. They built a big survey and gave it to domestic tourists in India. And India was the perfect place for this. It has a massive and growing domestic travel scene. They gathered all their data over about 4 months. And how many people are we talking about? They ended up with 630 solid, complete responses. Now, for a study like this, that's a fantastic number. It means the results aren't just a fluke. They're based on a ton of real-world experiences. And here's a quick look at who they talked to. It was a pretty good mix of ages, but you can see it leans younger. Almost half were between 18 and 30. And that makes sense, right? This is a key group of digitally savvy travelers. Okay, this is the moment we've been waiting for. We know the mystery, we know how they investigated it, so what did they actually find? What did the data from those 630 tourists tell us? The survey zeroed in on 3 main things, and they line up perfectly with that SOR model. First, the stimulus. What parts of the destination did people care about? Second, the organism. How did the trip make them feel overall? And third, the response. How likely were they to actually post about it? And boom, here's the first huge finding. When it came to having a great overall experience, 2 things really moved the needle. Natural beauty, we're talking gorgeous landscapes, had a huge impact. And so did friendly locals and feeling safe. But get this, the cultural and historical stuff, it didn't have a significant statistical effect on the tourist's overall feeling. How wild is that? So what this all means is that a beautiful mountain doesn't directly make you write a review. Nope. First, that mountain has to give you a positive, emotional feeling. That feeling is the essential bridge that connects the place to your post. Without that emotional bridge, the post just doesn't happen. And here's where it gets even more interesting. There's a big difference between why we share with friends versus strangers. When you share with your friends, it's driven by 2 things: your personal love for travel and having a great experience. But when you're posting for the public, it's almost all about how amazing that overall experience was. A good trip gets a text to your friends. A truly mind-blowing trip gets a review for the whole world. All right, let's bring it all home. This isn't just some abstract study. This is about us. Understanding the why behind our own posts is the big aha moment here. The fancy scientific word for what's happening here is mediates. All that means is that your overall experience is the essential middleman. A pretty beach doesn't directly lead to an Instagram post. The beach makes you feel happy and relaxed, and that feeling is what triggers the post. It's the go-between, and it is absolutely critical. So to sum it all up, it's not the sights, it's the feeling the sights give you. Beautiful nature and friendly people are a powerful combo for creating that great feeling. That feeling is the real reason you post. The more amazing that feeling is, the more likely you are to tell complete strangers about it. And when it comes to your friends and family, just being a person who loves to travel is often enough to get you sharing. So I'll leave you with this question. Think back. What was that one trip, that one moment, that one feeling that was so strong you just had to share it? Whatever it was, now you know a little more about the science behind that incredible urge.